Kapla! I forgot the rest in German, but I did know it. Hello and welcome to another car drive with Pete, or just car drive with Pete and Beard. Today we're driving through Wolverhampton, coming from the West Park back to my place in Bushbury. Many thanks for watching, bring those likes. Hopefully I can upload this to Facebook and or YouTube. This is episode, green. This is episode 3, season 1. Learned a bit of Klingon the other day, and apparently they don't say hello and they don't say goodbye. I forgot what the word was for hello, but kaplach is success, apparently. That's the world of the Klingons. Apparently. When they're on the starboard bow, it can get a bit messy. And onwards. Also, a bit of sad news. My vehicle is going to the graveyard in the sky, unfortunately. It's come to the end of its usable, serviceable life, leaving it a bit fine, but hey ho. I've had good times and bad times in this car. Mainly good, but also bad. The good times are, it was cleared to go on an RAF base when I was flying out of RAF Cosford as a civilian pilot. That was nice. It was cleared to go on that base. Where else was it cleared to go? It was cleared to go into, when we had the Olympics in 2012, a couple of years back, it was cleared to go into the Olympic Village, of all places. Sniffer dogs around here and everything. That's hence why you can't get into my glove box, because they ripped the handle off it. I was like, can you get me into the glove box? And I'm like, but hey ho, you need to know. Going out of my way. Move. Get to the chopper. Anyway, impatient people, as per usual. Move. Yes, so my car, driven down to London 3 or 4 times and more. Been to Aberystwyth and Abergele. There was Ben's epic car drive on YouTube. On YouTube. Brake. Turning. Where else did I go? Aberystwyth, been to London. Been down to Warminster a couple of times. I've been everywhere in this. Loaded gear up in it and driven over to Birmingham fully loaded with gear. Zeppelin blaring on the radio and with no power steering at that time. Yeah, loaded up with gear and just sort of getting there, and it's been a very emotional sort of send-off, really. So this sort of car drive with Pete is really, it's swan song. It's kind of a last hurrah, his last sort of, it's kind of emotional, really, because every time person gets in, so Pete, what's wrong with your car today? Nothing. Just, even though I kind of know what's wrong with it, but like nothing is wrong with it, I don't think. So, a good quote that came from the Bearded One's fiance last night. Those who know don't. Anyway, a good quote that came from a person. Was last night? Not last night. The night before, when I was driving people. To the last time, my friends were in the car and I was driving. They said it's character building. It's one of these cars where it's grown a bit. It's got a bit of character. Yes, it may have, a broken arm. Can just about stop itself, and it may have a few other falters with it. But it keeps soldiering on. Weirdly enough, it just keeps on going. It just yeah. It doesn't sort of go, oh. It's like, I will get you here and all the way, pretty much. It's like me in the morning when I wake up, I'm like, if you know what I mean. What else? Where else have I been in this car? Oh, loads of places. Whitchurch, been to Whitchurch a couple of times, isn't it? Character building it is. So I've had fun times in this car over the past 3 years. And pretty much it's the first car, not the first car I've had, but the first car I've had for a long time, a car that's lasted more than a year, because, you know, of this, you know, so it's been a car that's lasted more than a year, and this is what I'm hoping that the next car that I get. Oh, Hummer! Might see it in the window. That's Hummer. Train. So the next car that I have, hopefully, it shall last again for another 3 years. That's what I'm looking for. It's a bit bigger, it's a bit more, you know, well, it's not practical, but it's practical. It's a bit bigger, it's a bit more practical, but hopefully it will have as much character than this car that I've had. Yes, this car, as I said, it may have broken arm, it may not be walking straight, you know, it may not be able to stop itself at times, and it may just say, you know what, I just don't want to let you know what's wrong with me today. Find out yourself. You're like, but it's sort of, it's kind of really bad because it's still drivable, you know. Obviously minor, it's, you know, a few falters, but it's still drivable. Yes, it may not be able to get into fifth, blah blah blah, but it's not that it's about the character that the car has given. See, I think a good car should always have character. If you know, if it's like the people on Top Gear, they always love it. They always like, they say pantomime, they say pantomime, they say character, they say fizzing sensation, you know. It's one of those, they're saying that the car gives them that experience. It gives them, you know, the elegance of driving. You know, yes, they would happily sit behind it for 7 hours and drive to Monte Carlo. You know, it's one of those, yes, I would, but probably after a couple of hours I may need to stop. The only couple of downside drawbacks is seats are a little hard. But that's probably down to the fact that the car is really meant to be just city driving. It's a city estate vehicle. It's only a 1.6. If it was a 1.8 or a 2 litre, you know, if it was a 1.8 diesel or a 2 litre diesel, that's your long cruising vehicle. It will just keep going, you know, soldiering on. And it's like, kind of like this car. It will soldier on. It will carry on after death. So I'm kind of sad to let it see it go, but in the long run, hopefully, you know, it's one of those, it's grown. It's sort of, you know, you're like, because after all the experiences, after all the quirks, and after, you know, it's slowly, you know, but there are, you know, certain times where it's slowly thinking, well, you know, and I've been cracking on now since 2003, and done 191,866 miles. I mean, I said to myself, I won't get rid of this car until it's done 200,000 miles. 200,000 miles. No. So, kind of sad to see it go at 191,860 or 870 miles. Really, kind of sad. I mean, one thing I also do miss is the little hatchbacks. That's also one thing I do miss, because like a little small quirky car that's giving you that when you put your foot down you can drop it 2 gears, give it a bootload, it'll roar like hell, and it'll go back down again. Those are the little things, you know. Sort of like, yes, I'm a little cow. Ah. So like a Mini Cooper, you know, the original Mini Cooper. Everyone should own one. I mean, I've never driven one myself, so hopefully, excuse me, got a bit of a cold. So hopefully I'll be able to drive one of those very soon. Ooh, ooh. But yes, after it's, you know, it's hard life. Get a bit of rest, and recovery. And hopefully the next owner will take it on and think, this is a nice car, you know. This is a nice car. I want to keep, you know, love to keep it on the road. See, if it was me and I had the money, if I always have them, if it was me and I had the money, I would actually take the engine out of this car and build a kit car around it. That's what I would do. I would build a kit car around the engine. And the reason being is, I'm going to go on the motorway now, by the way, guys. The reason being is it's such a little pokey engine. And again, the engine is like the car. It will just soldier on and on and on. It's like an old Land Rover 110. You know, the Defenders. Yeah, like the old Land Rover Defenders. They will just keep soldiering on. Even if you're 6 foot underwater. You know. Give or take. Well, it's only 13 minutes to junction 8 at the M6. Car. Other car. So yes, it will just keep soldering on and on and on. Blah. Oh, coach! Coach! Stuck behind a Royal Mail van, but I'm doing 3,000 revs at 4. Pat's coaches. All Wales. Anywho, moving on. So this is the passenger seat. No one's sitting in there. So, ironically, this is probably my last car drive in my Ford Focus. Really, quite a not a swan song, not like the Lamborghini Murcielago LP670-4 SV. Not like that. Actually, yeah, sorry, like that. Because also, in this engine, when I brought it, we didn't know, but the engine in this is the one from the Ford Mondeo. So it has the Ford Mondeo engine in it. Because the only way you can tell is on the gearbox. Turning beat. So much input. So on the gearbox, the starter motor is on the front, is it? Yeah, it's on the front, which means it's the Ford Mondeo gearbox. Come on, mate, it's a 40, you should be doing 40, not less than 40. And you're here. And on the Focus it's on the back. yeah, it's on the back. Excuse me if I'm very tired. I was up last night till about 3:30. No, sorry, 4 o'clock. And then I was up at 9, so I'm a bit knackered again. But I had a great gig last night from the vet. Ooh, crap. Turning. Shit. Oh. Shouldn't have said that. Oh well. CCTV. They've got a guy in the street. Funny. Oh, lights. So, kind of, you can call it a swan song. Why do people dump tyres here? What a tit. So yes, it is kind of like a swan song, really. This car. Emotional I am, but with good cause. Yes, I might have had to bump started it for about 3 months before I managed to find a starter motor. Yes, I might have been driving around with only 4 gears for the past month and a half. Yes, things needed doing last year for the MOT that weren't done. Oh, big truck, jet. Well, not jet, it's... Oh. The guy's driving a 3.5 tonner down a road where it says unsuitable for heavy goods vehicles. The road is barely wide enough for a bus. Mind you, they do get coaches down here, so... So, I mean, yes, it kind of, as I said, like a swan song. So if you're looking for an estate vehicle, say, I don't know, less than £1,000, the one vehicle I would suggest is a Ford Focus Estate. If you're looking for a petrol, maybe the 1.6 or the 1.8. But I would suggest a diesel, really. I mean, but the fuel consumption has been epic, really. And that's one thing a couple of things I'm going to miss with this vehicle, with this car. It's aircon. I'm going to miss the fucking... bucket. A couple of things I'm going to miss is the air conditioning. I missed that. The CD radio. Well, I can say goodbye to that. You know, the original factory Ford radio. I missed that. The heated front windscreen. Now that's excellent in the winter. Everybody's like, oh, I've got to defrost my windscreen. I just had to sit in the car, turn it over, put the heating on, and put the heated front windscreen on. Jesus. And boom, clear. Like, wow, beautiful. Beautiful. Just epically beautiful. Oh, what else am I going to miss? Oh yes, the heating. Fully cold or fully hot. So, and for 3 years service, she's done well. She's done well. So,